Right now, this is the best condition the Roadkill Ramp Truck has ever been in the 8 years I've owned it. And I think I just sold it. Yeah. I think I just sold it. Yeah. It's weird, I know. I'm gonna just let that sink in for a minute. Because I know a lot of you are yelling no. And how I know that is because when I announced online 24 hours ago that I was putting it up for sale, that was the overwhelming sentiment was, no, what are you doing? You've put so much work into it. Why would you sell it? I got a lot of reasons for that. And I'll tell you all about them. But first, let's bid farewell to this truck by looking back at the long history I've had with it and how much joy it's given me. You know, if we were smart, we'd put a moving blanket over this hole in the floor because it's really hot, dude.
This ain't hot, man. I ain't scared.
I can't even hear you.
Because it's loud. You gotta ride knock it.
Oh my. You ready?
What's this loop going at?
I don't know, I didn't look, but this thing's a rocket.
That's a little bit of antifreeze. That's why the firewall's not fixed. See, people, you gotta understand. Build your car, leave the firewall open, and you'll find all your leaks. Understand? And then you'll be able to see it as you're driving down the road.
The Roadkill Ramp Truck. Where do I begin? Let's start at the beginning. Freiberger found this thing on Craigslist way back when we used to all shop on Craigslist, before Facebook Marketplace ruined it for everybody. And that was before, you know, you put something up for sale and somebody asked, is it still for sale? And you said yes, and then they never respond again. You know, or worse yet, they go, you're asking 1,000, will you take 800? And you say yes, and then you go, well, are you gonna buy it? No, you never hear from them again. But anyway, I digress. He found it on Craigslist, sent me from LA to San Diego in the Crusher Camaro, no less, to buy this thing. So obviously we're starting out on a good foot. I got to road trip the Crusher all the way down to East County, San Diego. Bought this thing, I believe, for like $3,500, just something ridiculously cheap. Loaded the Crusher on it and hauled it back home. And this was an original camper special 3+3 air conditioning 454 turbo 400 truck that at the time was in fantastic shape. Fairly low miles, zero rust. Guy used it to haul his Baja race car, which is why there used to be 2 dents in the back of the top of that cab there. Just worry about that later. I'll just hobble over there, get them later. So anyway, Freiberger bought this because he always loved ramp trucks. I always loved ramp trucks, and neither of us had ever owned one or experienced one. So he sent me out to get it, and technically the company that owned Roadkill at the time, Source Interlink Media, bought the truck. They bought it so we could film Roadkill. And we put Keith Turk and David's Camaro on the back of this thing, hauled it all the way to Wendover, Utah, to race the Camaro at Bonneville, had the time of our lives, broke down the whole way, had ignition problems, fuel system problems, just you name it, something went wrong with this truck, but we smiled the whole time. And then, right after I moved to Georgia, this would be about 2016, I heard the company was gonna sell it, and so I bought it. And I was out in California filming Roadkill. I bought the truck for about $2,300, I think. And by this time, it was kind of trashy. It had sat in an outdoor storage yard in El Segundo, California, under a freeway overpass, and just been rained on with acid rain. And it never, I think, really got cleaned after it went to Bonneville because the salt was eating the bottoms of the doors, the rockers, the bottoms of the fenders, the hood. Everything was just falling apart. But the heart of this truck was still good. That 454 ran like a champ. And I wrapped the episode of Roadkill, got in this, drove 20 hours, slept in a truck stop, then drove the rest of the way home to Georgia. And the day after I got there, I'll never forget this, my brother and his wife had entered myself, them, some of our neighbors into a savage race, which is like an obstacle race, you know, like monkey bars and mud pits. And I don't know how long it was, but basically you're like a kid again and just, you know, can you do all these things while running however many miles it is? I don't know, 6 miles, something like that. And right after I got out of this truck from driving it cross country, I did that obstacle event. It was super fun. Loved the truck, immediately started hauling blasphemy places with it, had a lot of fun. And then the truck just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Ultimately, I knew the only way to save it was to put it in a body shop and just start cutting out rust and replacing stuff. I didn't do it right away because I met the guys from Power Driven Diesel, and they were really stoked about the idea of Cummins 12-valve swapping this truck. And I had never had a diesel up until that point. I had heard great things. I knew it was going to make a bunch of torque. I knew it would get better mileage. I knew everything about it would be better, but in terms of doing the swap, I was a little reluctant at first because I knew the engine was so damn heavy. But I found swap parts online. It looked fairly simple, and so we did it. And not only did we Cummins 12-valve swap it, but thanks to the guys at Power Driven Diesels, we compound turboed this thing, and it turned it into just a raging beast. Right now, this thing puts over 1,300 foot-pounds of torque to the tires and over 500 horsepower. I mean, it's a monster. Super fun to drive, gets killer mileage. It's awesome. Put it in the body shop for well over a year at a really great place called Concept Collision in Ackworth, Georgia. Derek Jr., one of the owners there, did a fantastic job. I mean, we blew the truck apart, Newbern, me, and the staff there. And stripped every bit of paint off of it, cut out every lick of rust, replaced every body panel. It's, you know, new fenders, new hood, new doors, new rockers, patched the floors, and then the bottom of it got undercoated. The whole truck got painted. It, you know, the cab is restored. We added vintage air, new glass, new weather stripping, new lights. I had Mike Howe put air suspension in the back of this to haul the weight of putting a car on it, so these new 19.5 tires and wheels don't rub. Joe Cole and I recently built a bulletproof trailer hitch back here that is triangulated and gusseted to the frame. Like, the truck is incredible, and there's absolutely nothing I want to do to this truck anymore. It works. It works fantastic. But I think what I've learned about myself is that I like the building. I don't need to own stuff. I don't want to collect cars. I don't want a warehouse full of stuff that doesn't get driven. And this truck, there's nothing else I want to do to it. And so in my eyes, I'm like, well, what do I have it for then? You know, yeah, it brings me great joy, but other things could bring me great joy, and I could have some new experiences. And so for that reason, and also one other reason that I'm going to tell you about here, I decided to put it up for sale. The second reason why I sold it was I have a daily driver, Toyota Tundra, 2021 half-ton truck. That's the truck I take my kids to school in every day. That's the truck that hauls the open trailer. That's the truck that hauls the motors. That's the truck I drive all the time. However, this is the truck I've been using to haul that brand new ATC trailer we bought because it's a big trailer. I don't think the half-ton Tundra is up to the task. And so in my brain, what I've thought about this is, why pay insurance on 2 trucks? Why maintain 2 trucks? Why store 2 trucks? Why have 2 trucks when maybe I could find, oh, hey, buddy.
Hello, friend.
You're scary.
You don't eat much.
Okay, I won't sell it. I won't sell it.
Sunglasses.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dude. It's too late. I already took a deposit. I'm selling it.
Hey, go away. Chasing me.
I was just watching this alien movie where basically that's what happened. It's the bugs that got us. Anyway, long story short, there's nothing else I want to do to this truck, and I'm burnt out on insuring, registering, maintaining 2 trucks when one of them just sits all the time. And so I thought to myself, let's just buy 1 truck that I can daily drive and be comfortable in, and that will still haul that trailer with Blasphemy inside or the Rubber Duck or whatever else, you know, we're going to go racing with. So that's where we're at. I priced this thing way low. It sold within 24 hours. This gentleman's supposed to be here in 24 hours to pick it up and pay me. And then, I don't know, after that, we'll go truck shopping, I guess. But as I said in the Datsun video, I don't need all these cars. And not just stick shift ones, just cars in general. And so over the next 6 months, you're probably going to see me unload some stuff. And the good news about that is you might have a chance to own a piece of Roadkill history or Finnegan's Garage history, whatever you want to call it. You know, the guy that bought this wants the sticker to stay on the side of it. And so I said, that's up to you. You know, it's not my sticker. I doubt the company that owns Roadkill is going to care unless you're out there doing some dumb stuff. Then yeah, maybe they'll send you a cease and desist order. But I built this truck to haul cars and do burnouts. So if you're out there doing burnouts in this, you're not hurting anybody. You're sure not going to offend my feelings. So anyway, that's the brief history of this truck. That's why I'm getting rid of it. Let's take one last good look at it and then pass it on to the next guy.
You know, my first ever experience with you.
Forgot about this. Yeah.
Was
wait. Let me have the camera. This is your story. I forgot.
My story?
I forgot all about this. You get to tell your perspective, but then let me tell my perspective of what happened.
So, my first experience ever with like doing filming or anything like that with Roadkill, we were out at Santa Anita Raceway. I think it was the first time you guys did the whole shootout, right? The hoopty shootout kind of thing?
Yeah, with the whole Roadkill fleet?
Right.
Yep, it was.
And in the drag race, I drove the ramp truck.
Yep.
It was a gutless pile.
Yes.
It was the last hurrah for Donkey sitting passenger seat with me.
Yep.
And
although the donkey's in my garage hanging from the rafters.
Yes, but he hasn't gone anywhere else. We need to take him on a road trip.
We need to take him on a road trip.
Yeah. So anyway,
I dare you to bring him with you.
Everybody. I got Mike in the Crusher Camaro next to me with someone in the car. We take off for the first race. And everybody leaves me like I'm standing still. Even the gremlin got forget.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it was sad. I look over to my right and I see Mike and Crusher Camaro, God, it seemed like 100 miles an hour, just do circles out in the parking lot. Shortly after that, his passenger was no longer in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Then we raced back the other way.
Yep.
And I'm pleased to say I did beat the gremlin, but I lost to everybody else.
I want to see if we can find that footage. Yeah, and what he's talking about, all that is absolutely true. I had KJ Jones in the passenger seat of Freiberger's Crusher Camaro. Freiberger was in his Super B, and we're both really competitive. And I like to say he's more competitive than I am, but it's probably not true. He was not going to lose that race, you know, and he's a really good driver. So he's got the heavier car, but, you know, he's modulating the throttle, not trying to let the tires spin. I think at this point, the Crusher's got the LS7 in it. And so I take off, just mat it. And we're going, and then we hit dirt in this parking lot. And poor KJ is just hanging on for dear life because that car swapped ends so fast.
That was wild.
Hit nobody. But then on the radio, the director's like, okay, we're going to do that again. And I'm like, KJ, you want to? He's like, nope, gets right out of the car. He's like, never again, dude. He's never ridden with me again since then.
So to back up, technically, I beat you in the ramp truck with the crushed Camaro.
Oh, dude, this thing is a beast. Like, the last...
Let's not kid yourself. It had that 454 in it. It was a slug.
Well, at the time, it wasn't, but there was a period of time 2 years ago, I think, where Newbern and I were going to surprise Freiberger with his Gremlin, but with the original Blasphemy Hemi in it. And when we were road tripping from my house up to Roadkill Nights in Michigan, we found an abandoned airfield that used to be a drag strip, and we made a pass. And we marked out a 1/4 mile, and we timed it. And, dude, this thing ran, I think, a 15.9 or a 16.0 with the Gremlin on the back, dude. Like, this thing is sporty. I will miss that part of it. It's absolutely sporty. But again, like I said, you know, other than the bed needing a paint job and taking out some dents in the bed, the truck's done. It doesn't need anything, which means I've kind of lost interest in it because I like working on things. You know, this won't be my last ramp truck. There's other configurations of ramp trucks out there that I've never experienced. And so that's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. It's why I bought the Datsun, is I wanted to experience it. I don't necessarily need to keep the Datsun. I experienced it. It was fun. Maybe we need to experience another car. I don't know. Next week, Joe and I are flying to Texas to buy another truck. And it's not the replacement for this, but it's something I've always wanted, something I've never had, and let's go try it. And let's go have fun, and let's build it, you know? And when the building's done, I don't know what happens. But, you know, this one's going on down the road, but not before we clean it out and take one last drive and say goodbye to it. Just as soon as I find my crutches. All right, got this. Next week's purchase is an automatic, not a stick. The downside of next week's purchase is it's a standard cab truck with a bench seat, and I didn't think about that, but if I'm driving, I could probably shove this leg out the window and be fairly comfortable. But if you're driving and you're a little shorter than me, you're gonna scoot the seat forward, which means I'm gonna scoot forward, which means I don't know where this leg is going unless I put it out the passenger side window and just lean back on your shoulder, bro. Just mentally prepare yourself for that, okay?
We can go. It's okay. Starting to get sad.
Are you sad?
Starting to get sad.
Oh.
It's all right. I still got Donkey in the garage.
Yeah, still got Donkey. I don't know why I'm not sad. I think it's because I moved around so many times as a kid. I think it all stems from that. Like, I moved, like, I don't know, every couple of years as a kid. I was always the new kid at school. And I've just don't have attachments to things, I guess. Like, there's certain cars, right? Like, like Blasphemy. Can't get rid of that. The mini truck. My kid wants the mini truck. The El Camino.
He also wants the Datsun.
He also wants the Datsun. The mini truck. My kid wants it. The Elco. That's a family heirloom. You know, that's never going to go anywhere. But all these other ones, it's like they're super cool, and I've enjoyed working on them. And then why not let someone else enjoy them? And then we'll work on something else. I mean, I've already replaced the wood bed floor in this. I know you don't want to watch another video of me replacing the wood bed floor in this again. So, yeah, stuff like that.
I know they don't want to watch another transmission video.
Yeah, well, I know I don't want to do one. Neither do you.
Neither do I.
All right, let's clean her out. Get her ready for the new owner. It just occurred to me that this truck is 51 years old. I think that's the right math. Let's see, 1973 to 2003 is 30 years old. Another 20. Yeah, this truck is 51 years old, and it was a ramp truck from the beginning. When Freiberger and I bought this, the owner's manual and everything was in the glove box. It belonged to a Mazda dealership that shuffled Mazdas around from dealer to dealer with this ramp truck. Like it's miraculous because you and I, we beefed up the last section of frame with some gusset plates and a trailer hitch and everything, but everything up here, you know, and all these crossbars, 50 years old and still work just fine, you know?
Yeah, well, they were hauling around tiny little tin cans on it, so.
Yeah, but for the last 8 years, like, I've had a Cadillac on here.
I know.
Like, my Cadillac's been on here, the fake Daytona's been on here. Like, we hauled enough weight on this where, you know, the tires rubbed, and we had to get airbags put on the back of it to stop the tires from rubbing.
Well, let's not kid ourselves. The fake Daytona really doesn't weigh anything because there's so much rust.
That's true. It is got the factory optional.
It is.
You know, built in.
Lightened by God.
Yeah. Nature. Nature always wins. We don't have a stool, do we? I was trying to think of how I can be useful here. I could sit on a stool and pass things to you, but we don't.
No, but I can give you a fuel jug over there.
Oh, dude, I'll one up you. Grab a fuel jug, put it
on the dolly?
Put it on the aluminum dolly.
I don't know.
No, that's gonna work, bro.
That's calling for the next broken leg.
No. That's gonna work. See? It's perfect.
Okay.
Just run it right into that exploding battery.
It's got no power to explode. See, that's the reason we need like a handful of Buc-ee's cushions. Right now, you'd have a nice soft seat.
I'll do you one better. If you walk over there on top of that red toolbox, see it on the floor, the purple cushion.
Oh, that's right.
From Buc-ee's. So this is a BP Manufacturing aluminum dolly that we use for moving fuel drums around. And these are the same guys that made the all aluminum hand truck that was gold and black that I gave away online a few months ago. And
all right, I had myself a nice seat. Thanks.
I'll just hold the camera.
I'm out. See you later. It's a little tricky to turn.
Let's see here.
You have to center your weight to turn.
I'm so mobile now. Oh, that's the buyer of the truck. Let's see. What's he saying? Thanks so much. Really looking forward to owning this truck. I can truly appreciate all the hard work you put into it. Well, that's right on. I appreciate that. He's supposed to be here in one day to buy this thing. We've already given it a bath and detailed it. Now we need to get all my junk out of it.
It's going to be so much lighter.
Like the rain suit that we never used. You know how many cars I've loaded in the rain with this thing? I don't know why I've never used the rain suit. Let's see.
Probably been there for 49 years.
I've probably been in there for a long time and forgot it was in there. This was my dad's toolkit out of his boat. Can't lose this. This has bailed me out more than once. This is wheels for the bottom of the Easy Up. Emergency crap zip ties, not the good ones. You don't ever want to use the white ones because they don't have UV protection in them. So these
they get brittle.
These are more likely to get brittle and break, like Joe said. Bare lug nuts for this thing. These can stay. The headlamp, which is great for working at night, except I always forget it's here. So more than once at night, I could have used this and I didn't. Trash. Duct tape, don't leave home without that. Cordless impact for moving the wheel. Badass jumper cables from Crusher Products. All right, these are gonna be nothing but straps.
Lots of straps.
That compartment's done. All right, we can now move on to the other side. You can never have too many straps.
I never did get the fuel filter on, so I'll leave it in here for him.
Is it good luck or bad luck to leave on the fire extinguisher? Let's go take it for one last ride.
Oh, ramp truck.
Had some good times.
Yeah.
Made a lot of good memories. Been cross country in this thing twice. I've been to Michigan twice.
She left me on the side of the road.
Oh, multiple times. But it was always, you know, it was always something you could overcome. The times it stranded me, it was always something. It was like, yep, it happened, but we're still gonna get there, you know?
You do understand the normal person doesn't break down where I broke down and have friends like we do in that area.
I'll never forget the first time I ever went to Drag Week with this truck was right after we did the Cummins swap, and we hadn't finished the firewall. So it was hot. There was a hole down there for the trans tunnel on the firewall, and I put moving blankets over it that only sort of helped. And it was like 90 degrees in Georgia and sweaty.
No air conditioning?
No air conditioning back then. Oh my God. And so I drove it there, right? But on the way home, I basically, you know, was incommunicado for a week. So on the way home, I had to answer a bunch of emails and phone calls for work. So I hopped in my pickup. Poor Bo Shears had to drive this home. Just getting barbecued in it, you know? And he definitely had not signed up for that. I'd like to do party mode one last time.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh God, once it locks up, just hold on.
Just pulls.
I'll miss that part of it.
I will too.
I'll miss the Hydro Boost brakes. Those are killer.
Oh, the brakes are incredible on this truck.
Oh my God, it makes boost like that. Compound turbos are where it's at, man.
Thanks, Finnegan. That was awesome.
Oh, this is a great truck. It's absolutely a great truck. Here's another reason I'm selling it. Having done this now, I can see a few things that I would do differently. And I'm not gonna undo all the work that we've done just to make these changes. For instance, we've now done the 12-valve Cummins swap, and it's fantastic. No computers, you can fire it up with one wire. The engines are reasonably priced. Like, however, diesel technology has changed so much and gotten so much better that you can make this kind of power without all the smoke, with less noise. Like, I would do this again with a modern diesel. Absolutely. But I'm not going to undo this to make that kind of change. I love the wedge bed, but I would make a longer wedge bed with more storage. But a flatbed with a dovetail is way more user-friendly. There's just things, you know, there are things that could be done differently and better. There was a moment where I considered cutting this up and turning it back into a pickup, you know, and having a crew cab dually, because I love those. But again, like, the soul of the ramp truck, the Roadkill Ramp Truck, is the ramp. And so I made some phone calls, talked to some people, thought about doing that, and then just went, nah, you can't do that to the Roadkill Ramp Truck. So rather than make these massive wholesale changes and ruin the essence of the truck, I'm just gonna let somebody else enjoy it. Now right now, I'm gonna enjoy my last ride ever in this thing. Joe's standing on the side of the highway right now. I'm gonna roll coal and blow right past him. It goes from 55 to, you know, not 90 miles an hour really fast. Why am I not turning on the air conditioning? Oh, dude, that vintage air cools it off like that. So fast. It's so fun! I think I got it out of my system. I think I'm good.
You ready to give it up?
Somebody else can play with this.
All right.
On to the next thing. New owner's gonna be here in a couple hours. And not only did it start raining, but the gas gauge stopped working, which necessitated us dropping the gas tank out and replacing the sending unit, and one of the door locks came disconnected. So, a couple last minute items to button up before this thing's actually ready to go to the new owner. And it's a good sized storm outside, so we're pulling it in the garage to work on it. What do you think, Bo? Hey, Bo. What do you think?
It's raining.
It figures. The
I'm
day
so glad I watched this yesterday.
I know, dude. The day we got to get rid of the truck, it's pouring rain, and door lock stopped working, and had to fix the sending unit in the gas tank. We don't have video of you struggling to fix the sending unit in the gas tank, but it is fixed now.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
There was, let me just say, 1 or 2, possibly more F-bombs dropped yesterday doing that.
Maybe the rain will wash the diesel off the driveway.
It's already gone. Door panel is off, and I don't know if I'll be able to show this to you people or not, but the reason the doors aren't locking is the screw came unplugged, and you can barely kind of see down in there. Down there. See it hanging downward? So I've got to get that to stay up. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I can do that and put the door panel back on. I think part of the problem is that we have this style lock pit, whatever you want to call it, to go on there, the little lock on here. I think it needs to be ones without this. That way you can screw it on, door panel slides over, there's no problem. But I'm gonna attempt to put the door panel back on and try and pull it up with a magnet and see if I can get this threaded back on. But at some point, those plastic pieces came unthreaded, and then that just fell. See you later, Ramp Truck. Good luck with it. Bye, guys.
Let's do this. A week ago, I had a contest right here on YouTube where Joe and I rewired the Datsun 510, eliminating all the problems. We now have turn signals, brakes, nothing's melting, nothing's on fire. It's fantastic, it really is. And during that time, we used a bunch of tools and products from WireCare, who sponsored the video, and I said to you guys, leave me a comment in the comment section. My very favorite comment will win a complete Power Sports wiring kit courtesy of WireCare, which gives you Deutsch connectors, crimpers, all kinds of cool stuff for rewiring your project. I said 4 runner-ups, we're gonna win a Signature Series Mike Finnegan cable tie kit, which has nearly 300 pieces of zip ties, all different kinds, all different sizes, including the cool ones that you zip tie together and twist and the tail comes right off. You don't even need a tool to cut it. Super cool stuff. And now, I'm ready to reveal who won. I spent 48 hours watching you guys comment. I read all of them. These are my favorites. All right, we're gonna start with the runner-ups, who are all gonna win the cable tie kit, which we can put on the screen, I don't know, here. All right. Runner-up number 1. Tiny font, need my glasses. Okay, this comment came from Jared B, who must be a Southern California resident, because Jared B said, "Hey Finnegan, I'm 12 years old, almost 13, and I'm working on a 62 C10 fleet side. I'd like to say maybe you can still race your boat. My dad and friend will be in Bakersfield this weekend running Pro Comp Flat. Are you going? Have a good day. My name is Jared." I won't be there, Jared, but I'll definitely follow online. I think it's awesome. Your dad and his friend race Pro Comp Flat. That is one of the biggest classes in the National Jet Boat Association. And you got to have real talent to drive a V-Drive flat bottom, especially in Pro Comp Flat. So that's super cool. And I appreciate you commenting. So you're going to get one of those cable tie kits. We have 3 more to give away. So here's the next one. At Bucky CT wrote, The struggle bus always has square wheels, and a more truer sentiment has never been uttered by mankind. The struggle bus for sure has square wheels. Otherwise, being on it wouldn't be that big of a deal if they were round. So you win a cable tie kit. All right, 2 more to give away. The next one, at the follow hyphen on mission 8174 said, Finnegan broke his leg. Has anyone checked to see if the mountain is okay? Yeah, Chuck Norris. I loved it. You win a cable tie kit, sir. Thank you. And finally, at Joe Daly 019TQ wrote, I like eating bacon and laughing at your life choices in vehicles. It's hard to argue with that logic. It really is. And so you win our 4th and final cable kit. Now, the big one. Who's getting the Power Sports wiring kit? Who's getting all of it? Let's put that right over here so you guys can see what it is. We'll pretend there's a drum roll. I don't have any drums, and I'm pretty sure my editor doesn't know how to put drums in here. Nah, he probably does. Anyway, the guy that won wrote a story that I can relate to. And he said, and his name is @LeftyTheNub, squirrels ate my RX-8. Let me explain. I bought a 2006 RX-8 with a dead motor. My intention was to rebuild the motor and get it back on the road. Like any other project, it got backburnered due to life. My daughter plays ice hockey. I lost my job twice. I then received a summons from code enforcement that I cannot have an unlicensed car in my driveway. Ended up having to spend $6,500 that I didn't have to have a shop rebuild the motor and get it running. I take it to get it inspected and found a code for a faulty solenoid related to the intake valving. Check engine light equals a fail in MO. I'm guessing that's Missouri. I backed it in my driveway so no one can complain about the tags, and it sat for a year or so. The other day I went to drop a battery in it to move it and discovered a nice squirrel family had made it their home for the last year or 2. I cleaned out the mess, hooked up the battery, tried to crank, and nothing. After further inspection, those furry bastards ate my main engine harness and every other wire under the hood. I have a lot of wiring to fix and could really use that wiring kit right now. Sorry about your leg. I'm glad you don't need surgery. I wasn't so lucky and ended up with a plate and several screws. Keep up the good work. Wow. Homeboy gets a project car. The man comes down on him because it doesn't run and it's not registered. And then the squirrels add insult to injury. And the squirrels take out the entire wiring harness. Lefty, you're our winner. How can you not want to reward someone for, dealing with all that crap and still wanting to finish the car? I'm impressed by it. So anyway, Lefty wins the Power Sports wiring harness kit. The other 4 people won cable tie kits. Appreciate all of you for commenting. The comments were hysterical. I gotta be honest. The internet always wins. The amount of times I laughed by sitting there reading all those comments, dude, unreal. So anyway, thank you for watching the show as always. Thank you for entering the contest. Thank you to WireCare for sponsoring the contest. And now we're off on another adventure. I'll see you soon, right here on Finnegan's Garage.